Good evening, everybody. Come fast. Let's start our lesson. So everybody join now. Very fast. So let's start our lesson. Today, our day 5, we are going to complete another important lesson, Morphology of Flowering Plants. Let's begin our lesson. So morphology is the study of external forms of organisms. A flowering plant in angiosperm has two parts. The underground part that we can say the root system, and the portion above the ground, that is shoot system. So starting with the root, it is the underground part and formed from the radicle of the embryo, and the stem, the shoot cyst part, is originated from plumule. Root system are of three types. Number one, taproot system. It consists of, taproot means the primary root and its branches, that is lateral roots such as secondary root and tertiary root in dicot, and primary root that is elongated from radicle. So taproot system consists of primary, from primary to secondary, from secondary to tertiary. Second one, the fibrous root system. In monocots, the primary root is short-lived and is replaced by many roots. They originate from the base of the stem and form the fibrous root system. Mostly in the monocot, fibrous root system are there. So that is especially in monocots. So when the primary root system is replaced by a bunch of hair-like structure, these are fibrous root system. In wheat, in rice, these are the example. Third one, Adventitious. Adventitious root system. So roots that are arise from the parts other than radical. Remember this one. Other than radical. That is grass. In banyan tree, the prop root. These are the example of adventitious root system. The regions of the root that is root cap, from root cap to region of meristematic activity, from there the region of elongation, then region of maturation, and root hairs is also there. So let's draw a diagram to show the different parts. So everybody draw the diagram. That's the root cap zone. This is the root cap zone. This particular part is the region of meristematic activity. This is the region of elongation. And this part is the root hair zone. That's the root hair zone. And this is the region of maturation. So root cap, the covering of the apex of the root, it protects the tender apex of the root. Region of meristematic activity and region of elongation next to zone, region of maturation and the root hair zones are the prime part of an ideal root. These are the different regions of a root. So this one, number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So remember this one. If these are given to you according to their region from upper part to the lower part, then you have to remember which one come first and which one in the middle and which one in the last. So remember this one. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 and number 5. So is it clear to you all? Everybody give your response. Is it clear? Now we move to the next part. The modification of root. Now the modification of root. In some plants, roots are modified to perform functions other than absorption and conduction. That is, some roots are there. You know these are well, the swollen part. The swollen roots, they are developed for food storage. That is the taproot of carrot. Taproot of carrot. Turnip. And adventitious root of sweet potato. These are the swollen root and they are developed this type of shape for their food storage. Next one, prop root. So, prop root, hanging structure that support banyan tree. So prop roots are present in banyan tree. Remember this one. Stilt root. So the supporting root coming out from the lower nodes of the stem. Silt root, that is maize and sugarcane. Another modified root, that is pneumatophore. Can you remember the pneumatophores? The roots that come out of the ground. Yes, Ankita, Kia is also an example. Pandanus, Rhizophora, pneumatophores. So the root are come out of the ground and grow vertically upward to get oxygen for respiration. That is rhizophora. Some function of root, that is absorption of water and minerals from the soil. They provide a proper anchorage to the plant parts. They develop storage of reserve food material and synthesis of plant growth regulators. So from root 2 we move to the stem part. We already discussed that stem part is originated from the plumule of the embryo of a germinating seed. The plumule bears branches of leaves, flowers, fruits, buds, nodes and internodes. So what are nodes? Can you tell me? What are nodes? So nodes are the region of the stem from where the leaves are born. Yes, leaves are born from the nodes. And what are internode? So in between two nodes, so this is the node and that is also the another node. In between two nodes, that is called internode. In between two nodes. Young stem is generally green and later often become woody and dark brown. We also get the modified stem also in different types. So, modification of stem. First one, food storage. That is underground stem of potato, ginger, turmeric, calocasia. These are the modified for food storage. They also act an organ of perennation to tide over condition when these are unfavorable for growth. Next one, the stem tendril. So slender and spirally coiled structure from axillary bud. They are originated from axillary buds. They help plant to climb. These are the stem tendrils. That is the cucumber, the pumpkin, the watermelon, the grapevines. They all have stem tendrils. Next, thorns. So, thorns, woody, straight and pointed structure developed from, they are also originated from auxiliary parts. The best example is citrus, the bougainvillea, these are the example of a thorn. Next one, that is phylloclad. Very important part. Frequently asked question. Phylloclad, it is green, flattened or fleshy, cylindrical stem containing chlorophyll for photosynthesis. And these phylloclad are mostly present in the plant of arid region. Xerophytic adaptation are found in phylloclad. We are giving the two examples, one from flattened, another from cylindrical. So flattened stem that is opuntia, and the euphorbia that is cylindrical. Opuntia, flattened stem, euphorbia, the cylindrical stem. Next one, stolon. So slender lateral branch that rises from the base of the main axis and after growing aerially for some time just arch-like structure. This type of structure here originated and then this is form a arch and then again the branches are formed. This type of structure. This is the arch-like structure in the stolon, that is mint, jasmine are the good example of stolon. Next one, offset. Offset, it is the lateral branch with short internode. Very important, short internode. Coin this type of word for your MCQ. Lateral branch with short internode and each node bearing a rosette of leaves and a tuft of roots. Very short part, and then the roots are originated and here the leaf are structured, sometime with flower. So this type of structure is there in offset. Mostly the aquatic plants like Eichhornia, Eichhornia, the Pistia. These are the example of offset. Next one, the sucker. So the lateral branches that originate from the basal underground part of the main stem, that is sucker. It grows horizontally beneath the soil and comes out obliquely upward, giving rise to leafy shoots. This is the sucker, and sucker are present in banana, it is also present in pineapple, and common example chrysanthemum. The example are the important thing in this chapter, so you have to keep in mind all the examples as you gather maximum example from each categories. So underground stem of grass, strawberry, etc. spread a new niche. When the older plants die, new plants are formed. From modified stem, next we move to the leaf. So it is lateral flattened structure borne on stem. It develops at the node and bears a bud in its axil. The axillary bud later develops into the branch. Leaves originated from shoot apical meristem and are arranged in an acropetal order. So they are important vegetative organ for photosynthesis. So remember this one, leaves are arranged in an acropetal order. What's the different part of a typical leaf? So draw the diagram that will concept clear. It will make the clear concept of the parts. So reticulate venation, that also important part. We read it later. So here you see this part is the axillary bud, and this broad part is called lamina. That is lamina. This one petiole, and this junction is called leaf base. And this structure is called stipule. So now the leaf base, which is attached to the stem, it may bear two lateral small leaf-like structure that is called the stipules. In monocot, the leaf base expands into a sheath covering the stem partially and wholly. In some leguminous plant, the leaf base may be swollen. If the swollen leaf base is there, so this type of swollen leaf base, that is called pulvinous. The petiole, it helps to hold the leaf blade to light. Long, thin, flexible petiole allow the leaf blade to flutter in wind, thereby cooling leaf and bringing fresh air to the leaf surface. The lamina is also known as leaf blade. The green expanded part for veins and veinlets, and the middle prominent vein, this one, the middle prominent vein, this is called midrib. Veins provide rigidity to the lamina and act as the channel of transport of water and mineral as well as the food materials also. So that we discussed just a while ago. The venation. The venation, that is the veins and the venules are moved in the leaf blade on the basis of their arrangement. Veins and veinlets, it is of two types. That is, number one, the reticulate. The reticulate venation. Which group? This is common. Can you give example? So reticulate is the prime characteristics of the dicots. And the second one, that is parallel. And the parallel venation, the veins run parallel to each other within a lamina. it is seen in monocots. So very important thing, yes, you are all right. Everybody participate and give your answer. That will make you more comfortable to learn in this distant way. So that's the way of study. So participant must give your opinion. So now moving to the type of leaves. What are the different types of leaves? Let's know the matter, type of leaves. The simple leaf and the compound leaf. And compound. Simple leaf, here the leaf lamina is entire, or when is incised, the incisions do not touch the midrib. That means that's the midrib and the leaf are just like this one. So that is the simple leaf, and if the incision are there, so the incision is not so deep that it goes in the midrib. These things are not occurred. So this incision are not goes in the midrib. That is also example of a simple leaf. The compound leaf, the incision of the lamina reach the midrib, breaking into several leaflets. A bud is seen in the axil of petiole of simple and compound. The compound leaf are divided into pinnately, compound, and palmately. Pinnately and palmately. So pinnately, in this many leaflets are present in the midrib. Many leaflets are pinnately there on a common axis, that is called rachis, that you see in the this type of structure. So this type of structure, so that is pinnately. In case of neem, palmatory, in the leaflet are attached at a common point. Think about this one. So here, in case of the silk cotton, the bombic seiva, there's the petiole, and from there they are originated. So have you seen this? So this type of structure, these are very common in silk cotton, the bombic seiva, the Alstonius coloris. These are the common example of palmately compound leaf. At the tip, so this is the petiole, and they are all originated at the tip of the petiole. Now, from there, we move to the Phylotaxi. What is Phylotaxi? Can anybody tell me what is Phylotaxi? So the pattern of arrangement of leaves. The pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem. It is the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem. So remember this one. They may be alternate, they may be opposite, and rolled. In alternate, a single leaf arises at each node in alternate manner. In alternate leaf are present in China rose, the Hibiscus rosa sinensis, in mustard, in sunflower. The opposite, that is guava, the calotropis are the example of opposite. Rolled, that is Alstonia. Alternate opposite rolls. We also found lot of modifications on the basis of their different function in leaf. Other than photosynthesis, they also develop tendrils for climbing, that is in peas, leaf tendril. Remember this one, these are leaf tendril. Spines, the cactus, and the fleshy leaves. Fleshy leaf to store food, that is onion and garlic. So these are the modification of leaves. Leaves modification. In plants such as Australasian acacia, the leaves are small and short-lived. The petioles of these plants expand and become green and synthesize food. And the leaves of some insectivorous plants, you all know this one, some insectivorous plant like pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, are also modified leaves. So from leaf, then we move to the most important part, that is the flower. The flower and its inflorescences. So flower is a modified shoot wherein the shoot apical meristem changes to the floral meristem. The flower the apex produces different kinds of floral appendages. The arrangement of cluster of leaves, very important term, remember this one. Sometimes we are confused by this type of definition. Arrangement of cluster of flowers. On the floral axis, is called inflorescences. Remember this one. So that is the arrangement of flowers. Based on there, whether the apex gets converted into a flower or continues to grow, inflorescences are mainly of two types. That is, you can remember what are the two? The racemose and the cymose. Yes, racemose and cymose. Racemose, in this the main axis continues to grow. Flowers are borne laterally. In racemose, the flowers are arranged in acropetal succession. So can you remember what is acropetal succession? We already discussed. In cymose, the main axis terminates in a flower, hence is limited growth, and flowers are borne in basipetal order. Yes, older towards the base. Very good. So the reproductive unit is flower, meant for sexual reproduction. A flower has a stalk, its swollen end is called thalamus. The reduced leaf found at the base of the pedicel, that is called bract. And flowers with bracts are called bractate, and those without bract are called ebractate. What are the four prime parts of flower? We also read this type of question from our junior classes, that is calyx, the corolla, the androecium, and gynosium. So calyx or corolla, these are the accessory organ, and androecium and gynosium, these are the reproductive organ. In some flowers like lily, the calyx and corolla, when calyx and corolla are not distinct at that time, they are fused, then they are called perianth. You can remember this one. When a flower has both androecium and gynosium, both are there, they are called bisexual. And a flower having either androecium and gynosium, they are called unisexual. So based on the symmetry, you can remember, on the basis of symmetry, we can differentiate the flower by actinomorphic, that is radial symmetry in mustard, in dhutura, in chili. So a flower can be divided into two equal radial halves. Next one, zygomorphic. Remember this one, this is bilateral symmetry. Here a flower can be divided into two similar halves only in a particular vertical plane. So the zygomorphic flower, that is the pea, the bean, the cassia, and actinomorphic, that is the datura. The another one, you know this one, that is asymmetric. Asymmetric flower, that is irregular flower. So actinomorphic, you can say radial symmetry. Zygomorphic, that is, you can say bilateral symmetry, and this one irregular. Remember these words, asymmetric flower, that is canna indica. Here the flower cannot be divided into two similar halves by any vertical plane passing through its center. That is asymmetric flower. So next important part, based on the number of floral appendages, the flowers are classified into on the basis of floral appendages. Remember this one. The flowers are classified into trimerous, tetramerous, and pentamerous. So trimerous, that means floral appendages are multiply of 3. Tetramerous, floral appendages are multiply of 4. And the pentamerous, floral appendages are multiply of 5. Yes. Trimerous, tetramerous and pentamerous. This chapter is full of terminology. Very important terminologies are there. And based on the position of calyx, corolla and endoecium, there are different types of shape. That is, we can say, on the basis of their position, see how they are differentiated. That is hypogynous. Remember this one? Hypogynous. In a hypogynous flower, Gynosium occupies the highest position. Hypogynous. So Gynosium, the highest position, which other parts are situated below. That means here the ovary is superior. Can you remember? Ankita, the ovary is superior in hypogynous. Keep it into mind, that's very important. Perigynous, here Gynosium is situated in the center and other parts are located on the rim of the thalamus. That is perigynous. So ovary in perigynous, that is half inferior. And epigynous, that is margin of the thalamus grows upward, enclosing the ovary completely and getting fused with it. Other parts are raised above the ovary. So here the ovary is inferior. So the hypogynous flower, the example is, so let's change the color. Hypogynous, how we remember this one? So China rose. Perigynous, that is rose. Epigynous, that is sunflower, that is ray floret of sunflower, the cucumber, the guava, these are epigynous. So very important part, we have to remember this one. Look at here, the ovary superior, ovary half inferior, ovary inferior. So very important, keep it into mind. So the calyx, what's the unit of the calyx? Can you remember? The calyx made up of sepals. So sepals made the calyx. Outermost part. Generally sepals are green, leaf-like and protect the flower at the bud stage. Very protective organ. The calyx may be very important. Note down this one. Gamocephalous. Gamocephalous. What is gamocephalous? Can you remember? Where the sepals united. Yes. And another is polycephalous, where the sepals are free. Keep it into mind, that's very important. Next, the corolla. It is the roll near to calyx. So the petals united to form the corolla. Petals are bright color to attract the insect for pollination. The corolla is also are of two types. So now the concept will be clear. If it is gamopetalous, or polypetalous. Gamopetalous, that means petals united. Polypetalous, petals are free. So that's very important part. Remember this one. Now another important question, that is estivation. You can remember this one. Without estivation, morphology cannot complete it. So what is estivation? So the mode of arrangement of sepals and petals. Sepals and petals. We first read sepals, then petals. After this we are reading the estivation, because this is nothing but the arrangement of sepals and petals in floral bud. Very important part, remember this one. So can you remember the different types of estivation? So tell me. What type of estivation it is? Found in calotropes. That is valvate. Yes, very good. That is valvate. Now tell me this one. So tell me what is going on. This one? So what type of estivation? Yes, that is twisted. Next. So one is out, one is in. That is, what type of estivation is? Yes, that's imbricate. And this one, this one, vexillary. So valvate, twisted, imbricate, vexillary. So valvate is common in calotropes. Twisted in China rose. Imbricate, the cassia, and the papilionaceous, that is 5 petals. The largest is the standard. It overlap the wings and which overlap the keel. That is the standard, that is wing, and these are keels. And that present in the leguminous plant, the pea, bean, etc. The androecium. Next. The male reproductive part, that is composed of stamens. Stamens are united to form the endoecium, and stamen are having two parts, the stalk or the filament and the anther. So each anther is usually bilobed. Each lobe has two chambers called pollen sacs. A sterile stamen, when stamen is sterile, that is called staminode. When stamens are attached with petal, so stamen attached with petal, then this type of arrangement is called epipetalous. Very important. That is in brinjal. When the stamen are attached to, when the stamen is attached to perianth, so this one called epiphylous. Very, very important terminology. Keep it into mind. That's the question. Confused with us. Epiphylous, epipetalous. Remember this one. When stamen attached with petal, the epipetalous, stamen attached with perianth is called epiphylous. Remember this one. If the stamens are free, that is polyandrous. And if they are united, they are called remember this one, synandrous. Synandrous, united. And the united stamen are of different type. That is monodelphous, that is diadelphous and polydelphous. Monodelphous stamens are united into one bunch or one bundle, that is in China rose. Diadelphous stamens are united into two bundles, that means 9 plus 2 or 9 plus 1 arrangement in case of P, diadelphous. One is associated with 9, another is at 1. So that is the two bond, that is diadelphous. Polydelphous stamens are united into more than two bundles, that is in the citrus. They are forming different types of bunch. They are forming different types of bunch called polydelphous. So citrus, so these are the important part of synandrous stamen. Next, The Gynosium or Pistil. The female reproductive part made up of one or more pistil, or we can say carpel. A carpel has three parts. What are the three parts? The first part is called the stigma. The second part is the style, and the third part is the ovary. The stigma is the surface of the pollen grains. Style is the elongated tube that connects ovary to the stigma, and ovary is the enlarged basal part that bear the one or more ovules that attach to the cushion-like placenta. And these pistils are pistil with many carpel. Pistil with many carpel, that is called polycarpellary. And polycarpellary pistils are of apocarpus, when the carpels are free, and another is syncarpus. When carpels are fused. Remember this one. These are the questions that we facing some problem by the terminology. And the arrangement of the ovules on the placenta within the ovary, that is called placentation. Placentation. It is of many types. You see in the pea plant, the seeds are arranged in this type of structure, that is called marginal. The placenta form a ridge along the ventral statutes of the ovary, and the ovules are borne on the ridge, forming into rows. That is very important and found in pea. Next one, exiled placentation. So, exiled placentation, so this type of structure, remember this one, this type of structure in exiled placentation. In this way you can remember that is the exiled placentation. Ovules are attached in a multilocular ovary. The ovules are there in multilocular ovary. That is exiled. That found in the China rose, in tomato, in lemon. These are common. Next one is parietal. So how is parietal look like? So that's the parietal. So parietal, the ovules are developed in the inner wall of the ovary or the peripheral part. Ovary is one chambered but becomes two chambered due to the formation of false septum that is mostly present in mustard. So that's the parietal. The basal, that is in sunflower and marigold, this type of structure are found. This is the basal structure. That are found in sunflower or marigold. And another important placentation, that is in primrose, that you can remember, the precentral, that from center that's the precentral. And this is very much common in primrose. So after the flower and their different parts, we just move a very brief discussion regarding fruit. So the ripened ovary developed into fruit. A fruit formed without fertilization. Very important. Sometimes we are getting confused with this one. So, without fertilization of the ovary, this type of fruit is called parthenocarpic fruit. These are frequently asked questions. In an ideal fruit, we can see the structure here. So the outer part, that is epicarp, the edible part, that is the mesocarp, and that's the endocarp, and that's the seed. And on the basis of the seed coat and embryo, the embryo is made up of radicle, the embryonal axis with one cotyledon and two cotyledon. So in case of a dicot seed, the outermost covering is called the seed coat, and the seed coat having two layers, outer layer is called testa and inner layer is called tegmen. Very important. This is the outer, and that's the inner. Test and segment. On the seed coat, there is a scar. There is a scar. This scar is called hilum, through which the developing seed is attached to the fruit. Above the hilum, there is a small pore. Above the hilum, just above the hilum, there is a small pore that is called micropyle. Some seeds such as castor, the endosperm is formed due to, remember this one, endosperm is formed due to double fertilization, the food storing tissue. In some plants such as the bean, the gram, the pea, these seeds are non-endospermous. Remember this one. Endosperm is not seed in the mature seeds. And in monocotyledonous seed, generally monocot seeds are endospermic. The monocot seeds are endospermic in nature, but some are non-endospermic. There is an exception, that is the orchids. Being monocot, that is non-endospermous. In cereals such as maize, the seed coat of the membranous generally fuse with the fruit wall, and endosperm is bulky and they store food. The outer covering of the endosperm in monocot, there is an alluvial layer. The embryo of the small groove is there. So the cotyledon around a large shield, you can remember in monocot, every time the shield is called the scutellum. Very important question, the scutellum. That is the shield around the monocot. In the plumule in monocot, there is a sheath called coleoptile, and the radicle, there is a protected sheath called coleorhiza. That's special in monocot seed also. So there are some important families. You go through this one. For the floral formula, you can remember what does it mean. BR stands for, tell me quickly. BR, that is bract. Grass family monocot. Ankita, grass family are the monocots. Actually, the embryos are small and situated in the group of one end of the endosperm. That is the scutellum, the shield, one large and the shield-shaped cotyledon. That is scutellum, and the axis is plumule and radicle. So BR stands for bractet, yes. P stands for perianth. G, below the line, that is superior. K stands for calyx. A stands for endoecium. G above line, that is inferior. C for corolla. G for gynosium. This one male symbol, this one female symbol, this one bisexual symbol, and this symbol is used for, tell me somebody, this one, that is actinomorphic, and this one zygomorphic. When we are making a floral diagram, then we use these terms. So that is actinomorphic, bisexual, K2 plus 2, C4, A2 plus 4, and G fused superior ovary. So this type of floral formula, some questions are asked from this one regarding this nature and what type of ovary it is. So important families, that is Fabaceae, Solanaceae, and Liliaceae. Lily family. So the Fabaceae, that's the floral diagram, floral formula. You can remember. So can you tell me what does it mean? So bisexual, zygomorphic, sepals are 5. Two lateral wings, two anterior one, forming a keel. Ovary superior, monocarpellary. Next, the potato family, the Solanaceae. The Solanaceae, that is floral diagram, are of this type. So can you remember? Somebody tell me. Can you remember or not? The bisexual, actinomorphic, sepals 5 united, petals 5 united, valvate estivation, stamen 5 epipetalous, bicarpellary superior ovary. The Liliaceae, that is also bisexual. 3+3, Endosium also 3+3, and Gynosium. So bisexual actinomorphic tepal, petal, the unit of the perianth is tepal. Tepal is 3+3, often united into tube. Stamens are 6 into 2 rolls. Gynosium, tricarpellary, syncarpus superior, that is trilocular ovules. So remember this one. So we are almost completed the important parts of morphology of flowering plants. Now you go through NCERT, that will complete your revision. So till then, very soon you get the another test generated. So stay connected with channel, like, share and subscribe to get the latest information and the timing. Till then, keep study. Bye everybody. Good night.